Clash of Clans podcast, OG, episode 36. And welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Scotty 827. Hopefully coming to you this week with a sound issue-free episode. It took a long time getting that last one up. I don't even want to go and have to explain it to you. You'd be bored. So instead, I'm going to bring into the podcast this week a special guest co-host, former House of L member, creator, builder of the clan, one of my longest, I want to say longest living friends, but one of my longest Clash friends in the game. And we are out on delivery with the mailman. Welcome to the podcast again, Mail.
Hey, Daddy, good to be here.
How you doing? What has been happening?
Same old, really. Just working, sleeping. Stopped playing Clash. I don't know.
Are you still playing Clash now? Because here was the thing. Starting in February, I brought the podcast back and have been meaning to, and I think I texted you around that time, and then things just have been getting crazy. And recently, have you stopped playing?
Yes, I stopped playing, I don't know, a few months ago. I never deleted it off my phone or anything, just taking a break. I don't think I consciously thought that I would never come back, but
yeah, I'd send you an invite here or there and kept meaning to jump over to where you were. I woke up when I came back to the game. I woke up in the post office.
sure. I recall you and Max were in there forever. I had left there a long time ago. I was in third contingent for, I don't know, a couple of years probably.
There I am in the back of the post office, sleeping in a bin. And I wake up and look around, and there's the post office is still here. I think you had a couple mini accounts still over there. So thank you for sheltering me in through the wind and the rain and the storm.
Yeah, anytime.
How many clans do you have, by the way?
How many what do I have?
Clans.
Oh, so, well, when I left the post office one, Monkey had about 12 accounts there. I think there was a Phantom account in there, and then you and Max were in there. But it was mostly just me and Monkey. Um, I think he's since left, and I can't get anyone to respond in there, so I just wrote that clan off and started a new one. It's called USPS that I parked my accounts into.
What is it called? USPS?
Yep.
Oh, so now, okay, all of your clans are back. And so when we left the post office, we left it abandoned? You can't
So
get in there?
there's people in there, but I don't know they're not, it's basically dead. There's a bunch of accounts in there, but I don't know who they belong to. I think maybe Monkey just left one of his in there, but he went somewhere else too with most of his.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is all coming back to me. That's like when I was talking with Phantom last week, it's like, one mention of a name or something like that. And it's like flood of memories.
Yep. I know when you guys were bringing up names, I was like, oh, I don't even remember that name, but
yeah. And a name pops up and then it's like, oh, that's right. I had hours and hours of conversations with that person. And, but it's not like, a normal conversation, a name like Botox would come up, like, oh, I have a friend named Botox, that kind of thing. Or I have a friend named Phantom Warlord. You remind me of him.
Who doesn't a friend named Phantom Warlord?
Yeah. It's awesome in the contact list, it's just
That's how I have them in there too. You're in mine as 827 also.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got MailMan.
Yes.
I was, texting with Sasquatch the other day, who's doing well. He is building a dream house right
Oh,
now and is kind of taking a uh, been pretty busy and hasn't really been clashing. But we've
sounded
been
like
talking about him on the podcasts a lot. So I just wanted to give a little update because he's made some appearances.
Shitter. And I sounded like Warlord was moving or something too.
Yep, he selling his house and moving across country, RV and all. And so it was really fun catching up with him
And
too last week. And he's been in the clan, but you don't really get a chance to like
you're
sit down and
sometimes you're
reminisce.
on and he's not, or he is and you aren't. And you know, stars just kind of got to align sometimes.
Yep. Well, so you listened to that episode last week.
I
What
did.
was there something that like really stood out to you from that? Or
I think I texted you like a couple things that I thought at the time. I can't remember what it was now,
let me look here.
but
It was kind of cool. I had a bunch of texts after that one, or some messages. Oh, you had forgotten that we met Boaz. Uh,
you seemed to have forgotten
oh
like
yeah, yeah, I had
portions of that.
forgotten
So I
that.
was like reminding you. I didn't forget.
Yeah,
Uh,
I had forgotten that we had met Boaz at where was it at?
it was at Old Chicago, and yeah, it's like a pizza place.
Yeah. Okay, and for some reason I'm imagine meeting him at the baseball game.
I believe it was. So
Cool.
I never met Boaz anywhere else other than that restaurant. But yeah, we met. I met Coop at a ball game with, and I've met you at a
And
couple of
yeah,
Benji's ball games.
I was there with you and Coop,
Okay,
and that was fun to see. It's kind of thinking about the world of Clash and real life and friends and stuff like some of my best memories uh where I think back are going to see Benji and Dirty's brother play baseball
yep,
down in the
Papa
cities.
Peacock,
Yeah, Papa Peacock.
Chris,
And
I think his name was.
okay. Yeah, and just going down there and hanging out, meeting Coop, meeting up in real life was just that was a real fun time. And I've seen you a couple
Yep,
times. Uh
yep.
Always fun.
I think we went to at least two of Benji's games together,
Yep.
and then the one with Boaz. I still have a picture of that one of all
Yeah.
four of us.
And as I go through and like recreate, well, the site was down and I have to put up all the old podcast episodes and everything and just kind of getting everything resituated. It's really I never thought it was going to be so much work, but I'm finding just tons of stuff I had forgotten about. Um, and that I remember that picture now. So I'm gonna have to go digging for images around that time and things that I had saved. Because wow,
Yeah, you
that's
must have dug out that Jake from One Hive attack at some point because you sent it to me in a
oh
text, and I was like, "Where the hell did this come from?" All of a sudden,
yeah, that was okay. That's a perfect example. So, uh, back in the day, the clan One Hive was a really big clan, and in part it was because of Jake uh, from One Hive who did YouTube strategy videos. And at the time, it was really, there were some YouTubers, there were like Chief Pat, these kind of core ones.
yeah,
And my memory might be faulty because I go back to the chat and people remind me of things or whatnot. But he was kind of like one of these first sub YouTubers um who were kind of next to the creators and where when there wasn't really a big creator thing. And so one hive had gotten really big and L faced off with them, right? And so I was going through stuff, and this is how my memory is working is I see this video and I go, why would I have saved this video? Um, and I think I can't remember the title. It said Mailman or One Hive, and I click on it, and it's still now it's kind of grainy, and it's
Yeah.
oh no, Jake
But we're,
revenge
we were probably
video.
still using like Motorola Razor flip phones back then, probably. So
Yeah, yeah. It was like I remember having to record something. You had to like uh, there wasn't really screen record. You had to put it on the computer. I can't remember how I was doing it, but so it was difficult and enough that I would have taken the time and and named it Jake Revenge Attack, I think it was.
mhm.
Do you remember
Yeah,
what
I remember the situation. Yeah, because so first off, I was a Town Hall 10, and Jake was a Town Hall 9, but he was, you know, from my perspective looking up, he was way better than anything I ever hoped to be. Like I never really gave a, sh- a shit about how good I was. I was just there
yeah.
having fun.
Yeah, we were
But
having
anyway,
fun.
I was a 10 and he was a 9. And I come on line one day and check, getting hit and stuff. And he had hit me, in the wild, which is what I've always called it. Um,
Yeah,
he
that's
hit me in the
I
wild,
still
and
call I still call it
I
in
was
the
like,
wild.
yeah, and I was like, no way is that Jake from One Hive. It was a dude from One Hive named Jake, so I'm like, it's got to be him. So I revenged him. He only got, I can't remember what he got against me. He didn't 3-star me. It was up on all levels. So not that you would expect, no matter how good someone is. Maybe these days a 15 can take out a 16 or something. But
I did in
at any rate,
this I did in this CWL.
he got, yeah. See, so he got 1 or 2 stars, and then I revenged him and cleaned his clock, and the rest is history. We saved the video and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. So
15 minutes of fame.
and I think at the time he was talking shit about nines or it was something or maybe that was a different time. And I had been thinking that it was around the time of the House of L versus One Hive War, which I think we just randomly got matched for or something. I'm
It's
sure
got
my
lucky.
yeah, I think something happened. So it was, um or maybe, oh, we did that Podcasters War, remember? And I think were you on the team or were you twitching with me or something at the time? And
I I don't
you
remember.
you were there. I think you were there because all the podcasters got together and did a war.
What
And so it was, I think, me, Illness, Natalia, Jake from One Hive, Tate.
was this? Was this when you guys had to sit and run all the numbers to even make it work out
Ye
and stuff?
Yeah, I think so, and I'm almost positive you were in that war or you were, twitching with me, but it got to a point, and I was thinking it was around that time with the L War or something where, Jake had been kind of talking down about stuff, and, um, I thought it was a revenge for that, but, um, I can't
No, it
remember.
was. He certainly could talk shit about us because I mean we were just like you know, on on the level with say like a beer league softball team compared to those guys who are all serious and
Yeah,
doing attacks on graph paper and getting approvals to even attack stuff, all that kind of crap. And we're just like,
we
yeah,
show
okay,
we show up with a 12-pack and a
exactly.
in a
And
boombox, and we're like, we're gonna
so,
do this."
so yeah, you go ahead and talk your shit. We're fine with that. Just you don't want to fail in the wild,
Yeah.
then you're gonna do that. That's all.
Yeah, there's and even things like that, it's really cool kinda some of the events,
Oh
and
yeah, there
things.
was
And how
always
many of
an
my
event
memories
going
you
on.
were part of from back then too, because weren't you like the first person in L or
So I was maybe like I remember finding your podcast when it was like the fourth or fifth episode.
episode?
That's how
Okay.
early on I caught on to your. You were still in Minnesota Nights. This was long before
Oh yeah.
the L-Zod clans came about, and I was there for that first
I remember
L-Zod
that.
war, but I wasn't in it. I was just
Oh.
there in
D-
the
You must have just
fan in the
joined at that
stands.
time.
Yeah, I was just a fan in the stands.
And that was literally like 3 weeks in or
It
2
was
weeks
very
into
early
L.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was very early on.
with a team with a team that just came together, with an early clan, uh,
Yep.
and 3 wars into the beginning of war and learning strategy and stuff. Okay. And I remember w some of my memories with you, I think about me and you hanging out, basically just donating our troops to war all day long and not getting to farm.
Yeah, that was back when you had to actually make the troops you wanted to donate. It
Yeah,
was actually work back then.
and on war days, remember, like,
Yeah. Yep.
we were, like, one of the top town halls, so we could only make golems, and so I'd have, like, one of my barracks is constantly on a golem, which took forever to do.
Yeah. The
Oh,
quality of life improvements on that game over the years have gotten so much better and easier for building up bases. Insane the level of crap we had to deal with.
yeah,
You guys talked about it a bit last week, waiting 2 weeks for some troop to upgrade or a barrack or whatever, and it's down all the time. And uh,
things that you just now would go, "Why would they
yeah,
even
right, exactly.
introduce it?" Like, why would you
And
ever
like now,
introduce it
the
like
whole
that?
the whole idea like of farming has been cut in half because you don't even need resources to make troops anymore. They're just free. You can just make as many troops whatever you want. Like you don't have to use farmies anymore.
Yeah,
You just make
farmies.
whatever you want to learn how to do.
Well, have you logged in or played in, like, at all in the last couple
So
months?
I log in every day or every few days anyways to collect gems and cut
Okay.
trees down and crap.
So
Uh but
did you
I
oh,
did notice that there's like some card charge defenses or something. Looks like that's about all I'm behind on. I'm fully maxed on
so
everything.
now, just like in the last I don't know, time is weird to me, traveling in and out of it. Uh, the last update, they introduced, a loot bonus. So they changed the amounts that you get from hitting a base. So now when you go
Okay.
in there, hit a base, I'm usually just hitting for 1.5 million.
I was in Legend League the whole time when I was playing, so recently it's whatever I'm at now has just dropped from me now. Doing anything for a couple months.
Yeah. Well, until like 17 comes out or something, right?
It's what?
Until like Town Hall 17 comes out, not much
Is
for you
that
to
coming?
do. Uh,
So from what I've seen, all there is for me to do is the charge defenses or whatever it is. Supercharged or
oh
overcharged
yeah.
or
Yeah.
what the wordage is exactly, but there's something on the board for me to upgrade. It just says like supercharged defense. Looks like a bunch of them. You got to supercharge them. I don't know what they do or
Yeah, it makes them stronger or it does something to their stuff. I'm at a 15 still, so
so.
but
What makes it different than just it going up another level? Like why? How is this?
I think that's kind of what it is. It's just like and again, listeners, Tip is not here tonight. Uh, and so I'm gonna probably say a lot of wrong things. So take it for
Sure.
what it's worth. Um, so I th- it just makes it strong. Basically, it seems to me like it's just another level without giving it another level. But when the next level comes out, which would probably mean the next town hall, then you'll lose the supercharge. So I think it's saying here we're going to give you the ability to upgrade defenses to have some progress, and then when that'll hold until Town Hall 17 comes out, and then the supercharge um, will be gone, and we'll introduce the town hall. So like, hey, we'll give you something to spend money on. You can make wars a little bit harder, that kind of thing, or different
Sure.
because you can charge different things.
So you think maybe it was just kind of a stopgap because
Well,
of the
yeah,
unbalance of it or something? Like the last time I played, like so I'm no world beater. I've spent my life doing 2 stars pretty much. So and the last time I played, pretty much everybody was able to get 3 stars using root
y-
riders and overthrow.
yeah.
So I don't know what the state of the game is now, but when
Well,
I stopped playing it, everyone just 3-starred everything all the time, pretty much.
and I think that's what it was in part an answer to that to say, okay, well, first of all, like you, I don't have anything to do, to work on my base. So I could do that. And now it basically introduces like, oh, you supercharge your expo or you supercharge this defense and this defense, uh, or like your pumps and mines or whatever it is you. And so I don't really know the particulars of all this, but um, then all of a sudden, like the equation changes right on the base, like, oh, that's going to maybe slow things down or change it up or make you adapt um, to it. Uh, and then I forgot where I was going with that. And, and then when Town Hall 17 comes, maybe it'll stop that spam stuff. They've kind of nerfed some things since then to try to balance it out, and one of the big things that they just did was the Druid, which was a really quick, like, come in.
But yeah,
To me, they just, like, sent out that little announcement, "Hey, we're making this change," because people started wrecking shit with it.
did they nerf them? But I
Yeah,
remember I used a couple. I used like 2 of the druids with that root riders and Val armies.
yeah, at first, I think people weren't really using them much, and then people started to figure them out. And then when people started using they started doing mass druid stuff. Or that's what I'm hearing about. I'm not like
To be
seeing.
honest, when people in Dark Contingent first started using those, I didn't even know it was a truth. Like I didn't even know where it came from. It was just like what is that thing with the you know witch hats on it or whatever. I
Yeah.
didn't even I didn't even know what it was. Apparently they just added a truth. Like I never don't remember ever like leveling it up and stuff. Anyway,
Well, yeah, it was new. I think it just came out um in the spring or early summer. And
not this year.
yeah, this year because it got introduced since I've been playing, and I just started back in
Maybe I'm
December.
thinking of a different truth. I'm thinking of
Oh,
some.
the Root Rider?
It's this ornament thing that like heals your troops.
Oh yeah, that's a druid. Yeah, it just came out this year.
Oh, the druid. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So is there a different thing? Is there a ordinance that heals, or it's the
Oh,
druid
yeah,
that
the
only heals?
Apprentice Warden.
So what are these little guys?
Apprentice Warden?
There's some little. I got 12 Valks, and then I don't know what this guy is. He's got kind of like a.
Beard.
He almost has raccoon eyes,
Yeah, I think that's the
like a
druid.
flat top. Okay, I was talking about the apprentice warden.
Oh, okay. Yep.
What are the Druids? What do they do?
They're
I
like,
can't find them on the screen here. I just see them in my army.
they do, um,
Oh,
so
there it
it's
is.
like this troop that comes out and it heals 3 things for oh god, I'm probably butchering this. 3 things for 30 seconds, and then it changes into a cocaine bear. And it's not that's not
Oh,
what it is, but that's how it acts, like a cocaine bear. That's not called a cocaine
sure,
bear.
sure.
The
No, I
Super
remember
Show
that.
didn't name it the
I thought it was part of the defense when I saw it first. I'm like, what the heck is rampaging through the troops?
yeah, it's a fucking cocaine bear, mailman.
Well, I guess I can't remember exactly. It's I was doing it, but
It
I
well,
thought it had. I think it had wardens in it and road riders and valks. That's all I remember.
yeah, so well, that's a newer one, and now but going back a second, like, the armies, when we go in and attack, it the loot bonus that they have is basically I'm clearing 2,000,000 gold in a good raid and 2,000,000 elixir, and they changed up the dark elixir. So it's like you're basically getting 10K DE a raid. Isn't
10K was pretty common for Legend League because you would get,
just
I don't know,
tons of
6 or 7, and then there was a couple thousand bonus. I never paid too close of attention to know the exact
You're above all
number.
that now.
But
You're the top
yeah,
1%. What's it like to
yeah.
live
Well,
like a king?
but like, I listened to part of another podcast where it was just you and Tip, and he was talking about Legend League raids and
Oh, yeah.
having to do eat. For me, it was more like a chore to get all 8 in. But there were plenty of people in my clan who were, top 16s, and they didn't like being in Legend League because they couldn't get enough uh,
Tax or loot?
ores. Ores. They wanted to do
Oh,
more attacks for the ores. Because you could only do 8 attacks a day in Legend, so they wanted to do all kinds of more attacks. So they would
throw
get to the Legend number so that they would get the Legend
bonus.
bonuses, and then they would just stay low enough to never go actually into Legends,
Yeah, what they call
but get the bonus
fake
for it.
legends, like
Yeah, yeah,
that 100 between
yep. And they would
100
do
and
that just to keep getting more ores. I never bothered with. I was like, it seems like too much work.
so what other quality of life thing do you think was a big or what do you think is like a big moment where you were like either I'm into this or
So
I'm
I think the biggest thing is that Gold Pass.
oh,
That thing makes it so much faster to do just about everything.
yeah.
You get faster cooldown crap. You get all kinds of little treats.
Yeah,
It's,
little
yeah, it's what the one
potions.
gem donation thing, the everything about it is just, and they've been increasing the cost. When it first started, I think it was $5, and that was great. And then they added more stuff to it, and then increased the cost by a couple bucks or something, which was still fine. But towards the end, I'm not going to spend any more damn money on this. If I went back and added up everything I've spent on that game, it would sound ridiculous because I've been playing it for, 12 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't really want
You don't
to
want to
think
know.
about that.
Well, I think about that too. And I do think, it's like any sport or hobby.
Yeah.
You just kind of spend money on like it's actually pretty if I had to go buy a new golf club or I don't really
No,
golf, but I'd like to golf, but
sure.
I'm horrible at it. Um but you know what I'm saying? So like
I can
for the
do it.
amount of time I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with it for me, but there's times where I've been really broke and been like, "Oh god, like I can't be
Yeah.
spending money on this."
So I've never been like a whale when it comes to putting money into phone games, but I mean, I would spend, 20, 30, 40, maybe as much as $50 here or there, you know.
50K a year. That's not.
Yeah, that's what mailmen earn for the year. So, oh, not anymore. Anyways, uh, yeah. So just thinking about it over the course of that many years, like I've always been a pretty big gamer. Like
Yeah.
Boiler told you, he and I used to play on PS5.
Who
I
did?
remember
Who
his
did?
Friday the 13th hang up.
Oh,
Me
Phantom.
and
Phantom.
Phantom, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. Okay.
So it's always been weird to me that I spent thousands of dollars on a phone game.
Yeah.
When I say it out loud, like while I was doing it, it was like I don't want to wait. I'm just gonna do
Yeah.
this, gem my hero back up or whatever. And it was like that's all it really came down to, just not wanting to wait. And so
Well,
a lot of
geez.
the way it is now, you don't have to anymore.
Yeah. It's
It's so
like,
much less waiting.
I mean, really, I remember sitting there talking with you in the past and with others and being like, you know what? I'm never going to war if I want to upgrade my heroes. I'm going to take
Exactly.
to get to 20. Or I remember maybe it was 10 or it was 20. I don't remember what it was at the time, but sitting there thinking, I'm going to have my heroes down for 6 months.
Yep.
And
I
we
know.
were in all of our wars like at that time were really tough wars. Like we were overmatched almost every single war with way more upper town halls and and people were pretty serious about wanting to win and it was
Yep.
really a
Yep.
hard. I don't want to
It's
spend that kind of money on it.
yeah, it's so different now than it was
Yeah.
back.
Well,
Like our contingent right now is on like a 40 game win streak.
holy crap.
That's how like their whole clan. That's all they do is 3-star every single time. And it's like those. It's like that root rider thing. And apparently, either that same attack is still working, or they found another one. You know how they do those
Oh yeah,
events where
meta.
they come out with some new
Yeah.
troop, and that troop is like totally broken the whole time. Like every time that happens, somebody in there figures out the new attack, and everybody does it, and they just the only time they don't win per se is when they tie because the other team gets a perfect war too.
Well, and it's because of
So
this.
weird.
Because here's what you do. If there's a new troop coming out, that shit is gonna be overpowered. They do it
Yep.
every time. They're
Right.
gonna do it every time. Overpowered, overpowered. And then, oh, it's breaking the game. Oh,
Yep.
and then they have to go and basically cut it in half. And so if you just wanna get on the ground floor or something, I think, "Oh, new troop coming out? Just make it a mass something, and just try something really wild and crazy because that's usually the next thing that happens. I mean, it happened, like, in the past, but, like, in the last, 9 months or 10 months now, it's, like, same thing, or what you hear is, like so when I see that stuff coming out, I think, "Well, I might wanna use it and try it right away, but this shit is gonna get messed up."
Yep.
They're gonna come back and mess it up, so why get used to it?
Well, in the past, like I seem to remember, like when e-drags were OP, and like they don't last that long. They do an update, a thing is OP, and then they fix it within the week. But with the root rider thing, and they just and same thing with the troops for the events. Those are only last a certain amount of time, and then they're gone. So I suppose they don't worry about nerfing those because they're not going to be around forever. But the
Yeah,
root rider thing, they just let it roll forever. It was just crazy seeing all these wins rack up. It was nuts. They literally don't have a single red line in their entire
yeah.
battle log or whatever it's called.
Well, and so I don't know. I think it would be kind of nice if they just introduced the troop that as it's going to be. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like, why make it like super wildly popular or like those event troops? I'm not using them. You know why? Because people say it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. Bullshit. I'm not falling in love with that event troop, and then you're taking it away from me. Uh-uh.
but,
So I don't
uh,
wanna
I,
fall in love, I don't wanna
oh,
know I don't wanna long for it.
sure, you're fine with not knowing what you're missing out on.
Yeah, I'm partly because as soon as I do something like that, I'm gonna
Something that's
get
interesting.
dusty on my other attack that I've been working and grinding on. Um, I've been,
Have you
belie
tried the? I don't know what it's called. I never know what the names of attacks are called. But have you tried the blimp with the super archers and the invisi spells to
oh my
take
god.
out like the
No.
middle of the field? Oh,
No,
it's fun.
I'm working on my archers, and I had to level a lot of stuff up and things I
Sure.
didn't. Um, but I was looking at an attack today in our CWL, and or somebody was attacking one of us, and I thought, because Tip keeps trying to get me to do it, but I thought, what if I mess that up?
And
That's
is it the one I just talked about,
Yeah,
or is it a
yeah,
different one?
yeah, the super
Yeah.
archer blimp.
So so it is really hard, and it takes a lot of practice to get it down. But when it works, it's so rewarding.
Cool.
Like you just feel like you're on top of the world. It's like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah,
I'm
it
a,
looked really
I'm,
cool, but
and then
I
you do it again another time, and it's like complete
yeah, that's
failure.
I'm like,
Son of
what
a-
if it I thought to myself, what if it goes wrong? Then I don't know if I can put that much pressure on that preciseness. I lost one
Yeah,
attack yesterday. I got a 2 instead of a 3 because I tomed early. I fat fingered it, um,
yeah.
and dropped this or dropped that, but
It's
I'm
not
getting
easy.
cooler under pressure for
It
sure.
looks easy when people who are good at it do it, but man, you
Yeah.
got to be right on with those invisis because if something like a mortar, it's over before it even starts. Then you're
Yeah.
just left with a bunch of invisis and no CC and no
I
blimp, and you're just I don't even know what
I
the hell to do.
It just
It
I was
just
looking at that and knowing I'm gonna
um,
talk to you today, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, God, that would be just like the old days. Like, where you start something
um,
out and you just go, "Oh, I knew,"
yeah,
like, in the first 15 seconds that this was over. Um, what do you think changed between the attacks? Like, because like, when we were doing those attacks back then, in the early, not even the early days, but like maybe a year or 2 into war, and these are town hall 9s and 10s or whatever at the time is like the max. W Why is it now that people just do better at the start now? Or is it
so
like
I think like when you and Chip were talking about it during that one podcast that I listened to, I think I don't know that this is the case, but it feels like maybe the game has gone on for so long that they've lost a lot of the top people who would complain about it being too easy, and there's just a bunch of more casual people playing now, and they like to be able to 3-star too. So they're
oh,
not making all the money off the big whales like they used to. So they want to make money off somebody. So they just
the
make
more
the game a little easier to 3-star. I don't know, maybe, but
well,
that's the way
like
it feels.
well,
It
like our
feels
old
way easier than it ever used to
like our wars, yeah, like we would go in against, say, when we were 10s, we'd go up against another 10.
be. Uh-huh.
And I mean, I think me and you were way better at hitting up to get the guaranteed 2. That's I think
I
where we
preferred it.
yeah, that's what I felt like we were that club in
Yeah,
Phantom too.
I because there was only an expectation that you would get two. Whereas when you're attacking you know, your own town hall or below, if you get three,
Yeah,
you're going to hear about it.
yeah. Oh, my beer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh my god, mailman screwed it up
We'll
again.
get this. And they had to
Yeah,
be very more precise. But now, like, if you're at a 10 versus a 10, I'd imagine, do you think people have the same trouble 3-starring, or do you think it was just way out of balance back then? Or, like, just everybody got the
I
strategy?
feel like back then it was just balanced more for the higher
Oh.
echelon of people. I think they wanted it to be, you know,
Oh, yeah, like
unattainable for most people. They just wanted it to be, if you 3-star, you earned it. kind of a thing.
Yeah, like, it is you were, like, the top of the top.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I looked at one hive. I don't know if they were, just compared to us, they were.
Well,
So
they were in, like, the war community. I mean, there was, like
yeah,
if I'm remembering right, there were a couple leagues, but this is at the start of war, so it's when things are starting to form before any, like, official, like, CWL or anything like that, and so you'd get these war leagues for big clans, and I think they were in those. I mean, they were like one of the they were in the top, well known at least, um,
yeah, for sure they were
war
known
clans.
because of the podcast and stuff.
Yeah, and then
I
Tate
think
did
they
his
were.
podcast, and Jake was doing YouTube, and
Yeah.
he always had his deer heads on the wall behind him. A lot of animals. I remember watching
Oh
some of
yeah, I
those.
forgot about.
Yeah. All this stuff is like um just been flooding back. It's really kind of wild. Uh well, so now uh you're did you stop playing because or just take a break or log in because for any reason or you just
Never really had like a reason. I was just one day I was like, why am I still doing this? And I just stopped, stopped doing it.
okay.
And there wasn't like a real good reason. Just
Yeah.
just
Were you
yeah.
warring?
Oh yeah, I was warring with dark contingents, and it was fun with a bunch of good guys in there. You remember JJ and his wife Annie?
Yeah.
That's why I went there to begin with. But there was a bunch of people in there that I think Papa Peacock is actually in there right now.
Okay. Yeah, I saw like at one
Man,
point Dirty was over there when I came
yeah,
back,
I think
but
that was his kid though.
oh, okay.
Somebody was saying that it was his kid using his account,
Okay.
but I don't know for sure.
So were you doing
I
like
never.
war events and stuff?
I was doing the CWL stuff. I was doing the regular wars. I was doing what did you? What was that
D
called? Where you got to do the builder base crap and build up
oh,
points
the clan,
for your clan and
yeah,
clan games. Yeah,
oh god,
I think
the
it's called clan games. Is what I was trying to think of.
okay. Or
I was
but the
doing
other
all
base.
this.
Yeah, like the
Oh,
gold
clan capital. Yeah, those
capital,
things too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, okay. Were you guys doing arranged matchups and stuff?
Um, no, I think they were just doing the CWL stuff and the regular wars. None, none of the like friendly wars or like I didn't do any of the stuff where like they were like events with other clans and
Oh, okay,
stuff like that.
okay. Yeah,
I
as we
know I was with Red Thorn for a long time and they would do a lot of that stuff. They're part of the Clash Files family or
okay.
whatever they go by these days.
Did you play a lot during the pandemic?
Um yeah, I mean I never stopped through there. I
Oh,
stopped a long time ago and gave my main account to who did you say you were trying to track down?
oh, Sasquatch?
Itachi.
Oh,
Itachi. I
oh,
gave it
really?
to, yeah, and he was playing with it for a while. He wasn't doing any like upgrades to it or anything because I got it back pretty much the way I gave it to him. I was hoping it'd
Cool.
be all maxed out. But
Do you have a way to get a hold of him?
I don't. I just,
You'd see him
I
in
mean, I didn't know him in real life or anything. He just was around when I was going, I think I'm done. And I quit for like a year and he sold with my account during that time. But this was a long time ago,
oh, okay.
2015 or 16 or something like that.
You didn't use email or anything?
No,
Okay,
he just needed my login stuff. And that
okay.
was all.
I'm on I'm on the case of tracking down Itachi.
Yeah, I had good luck.
Yeah, he's elusive. I thought by now I'd have brushed up against him somewhere,
It
and
could be he could have any name
he could be
now. Like, who
anybody.
knows? Yes,
He could
exactly.
be anywhere. He could be anybody doing
Unless you
anything.
got him on your friend list here, it's going to be rough. And then lots of times people will change their names, and then you don't know who the hell it is. I don't
Yeah.
even know. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, like, scrolling through, and then I see, like, names or somebody joins and they have the name of somebody else that was there, and you assume. So it's like, I don't know. Um,
During the pandemic, I had open heart surgery
oh, no way.
too. Yep. April of 2021, I had a aortic valve replaced. I had a congenital
Oh,
defect.
wow. I
Yep.
think I remember saying something around before that about something, but how'd that go?
That's all. That went good. Everything's fine now.
Do you feel
Uh,
better or, like, a lot different?
yeah. I just remember. No, I don't feel any different at all.
Okay.
But I just remember that no one could come. Like I could only have one person be there with me, so my
You
wife
asked for
was
Itachi?
there. If I had known a way to get all of them, of course. But so I settled for my wife being there. And
Yeah, it must
that's what I that's what I remember most about
I
uh, the pandemic. Also, I really enjoy being able to pick stuff up at Target and not have to go in. So that's another great thing that happened because of the
the pan
pandemic. You could just
not
do
deal with
pickup orders
crowds.
everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah, drive up and drive and go. That's
it's
kinda
the boss.
kinda fun too. Uh, anything else from, like, the Phantom episode that oh, I c because I wanted to say that. So, if there's anything else you can think of, from that, I wanna make, a little announcement from that episode. GCBC said to me or posted in Discord that something that I had never remembered either. Um,
Or ACDC.
Good Cop, Bad Cop. He's
Oh, okay.
uh, a co-leader in L, and he reminded me that you couldn't delete anything that got put into a war CC. So I don't know if you remember that.
I remember you and Phantom talking about it because he would put in crap that people didn't
Yeah,
want or whatever. Then you had
and
to wait too. You had to cool down before you could ask for troops again.
yeah, and that was like in the offensive ones, right? Like the ones you
Yeah.
had to go. Um, but
Like if you
then
were one of those people waiting for the end of a war and that happened, you were screwed. You either had to
yeah,
go with what you had or,
yeah.
or jam it or something. I don't
But when you would go in on like on prep day, or I don't know if there was, I don't remember how it was working at that time. But when you had to fill war CCs, if you mistook it, like, or if you made a mistake and like dropped a witch instead of a golem, you couldn't delete it.
yeah.
And I had
So
completely forgot about that.
they completely fixed the whole that whole thing because now you can just put on there exactly what you want and it
Yep.
won't allow you person to put anything different in it. But people still put up requests without saying what they want and then they complain about what they get. It's like this is you created this problem because all you
Yeah.
gotta do is put what you want. Why are you still oh I don't care. It's all fine. Like nothing costs
Sounds
anything.
like a you problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
It definitely was.
Maximus asked me why people do that, and I think some people do it because certain clans
Don't
give
allow you to
certain
pick what you want.
yeah, they don't allow you to pick what you want, or they put in make you have whatever, I think. Or it is kind of cool sometimes in L, when somebody fills it, uh sometimes they'll adjust the things with different troops, or especially with the ones that uh don't have a request on them, and then you can kind of see how they work. So like I've been putting like ice golem, a dragon, and 3 loons in, or ice golem and dragons, uh, just because like people aren't quite expecting that. I don't know where in Wars when you left, but it's like been real ice golem heavy CCs and
Sure, yeah. Ice golems were a big one when I was playing still
yeah. And
for defense.
when did you start? Did you start playing in the like before yeah, obviously you were at. Do you remember
Oh
like
yeah.
when you started?
So it was 2013. So I know it came out in 2012, and I started playing in 2013 when
Okay,
my son, editor,
wonder.
what was it, Wonder Logic? He was in our
Oh
clan for a
yeah,
while with us.
yep.
That's my third account I have now. Is, is that one with a male name? I gave all of the accounts mail. Like I got rid of
Mm,
Voracious Reader and changed it to like mailbox.
oh,
So I got mailman, mailbag, mailbox.
one of my
So
favorite days was when you came
when I
into
changed my name,
the chat. You changed
yeah,
when we finally were able to change our name.
there,
Mailman was mailman with all small letters, and then he comes
yeah,
in and he capitalized mail and man, and
yeah.
he goes, "Hey guys, it's me, mailman."
I remember
Oh,
that. That was some gold right there.
that was comedy gold
You
right
know,
there. It's etched into my brain forever. Into the
kind of,
wild, coined by
yeah.
uh,
Now
mailman.
there's a few there's a
How,
few things that we'll
how,
never forget.
how many clans do you think you seeded over the years?
Well, for sure, relaxed. I built relaxed
Can't find because
because I got
I
because I
specifically
didn't.
remember this trying to tell everybody no new clans, no new clans, and mailman's out on the town.
I relaxed really,
L relaxed.
and
Kent
I
Kent
didn't create.
farmhouse, didn't
Um,
you?
I made up the name, and was like my idea, but I didn't take it and run and make it.
I
So
think Phantom went over
just
there right away.
yeah, it was like yeah, we should have a clan where we can just farm,
Yeah, just for farming. And
or we could
then
call it yeah, greenhouse,
and then what
farmhouse.
happens? It becomes a serious war clan. Uh
Exactly.
L2, I think you did. I think we were talking
Reminds
about
me.
maybe doing another clan, and I was like, I don't know if we.
Nope,
Oh,
he's
I
still
got it.
around.
I made it. The mailman says. Um, I'm
Done.
trying to think of the other ones that you. Oh man, I just remember. Oh,
The only one that I actually made and ran for a while was relax.
you just like to hit it and quit it.
Yes, yeah, I'm fickle. What are you gonna do? I
Yeah.
just sometimes I get restless leg syndrome and I just gotta run free.
Gotta go see the clan.
Yeah, sure. Go see what's on this side of the fence.
And it would be like we would be seriously in the middle of just starting to talk about it. Like, hey, what do you think about doing L2 or doing something like this? And we'd be going back and forth or just talking about it. And
Yep,
the
done.
next thing I knew, there's ma'am, he'd already had it. I
Yep.
got it, everybody. I got L2. We can do this with this over here.
You gotta get it before all those other people out there
Mm-hmm.
feel the name.
Oh yeah, I suppose back in the day. Well, we are well, I guess we're running about an hour. Anything else you want to like talk about specifically?
See what I wrote down. I wrote down some crap because my brain doesn't.
I know. I get into it.
Yes,
And there's like a bunch
word.
of things. It's been coming up as like all week. I've been thinking about it
Let's
for months, and
see.
especially after the Phantom episode.
I think I. Oh, you would ask. Uh, or maybe that's still coming. I'll save that stuff.
What's that?
Stuff you asked. I wrote down about books and what you're
Oh
watching and
yeah,
stuff like that.
let's do
But maybe
that.
that's like your end of the thing. So sure.
Is there
So
anything else on your The
No, like I said, I haven't been playing much, so I don't really have a lot of Clash on my mind. Uh,
Yeah, and I'm sure once
right.
I'm like,
Yeah, I'll think
uh,
of stuff after the fact.
I know, and it's like all coming back. There's like so many pieces like filling in. Like
Well, the likelihood
I just remember.
of
I think
you,
it was like September of that first war season and August, and just me and you just like filling and just like the grind um at that time, being in it and kicking hell
like,
off. It was when the whole Clash community is like in the midst of figuring out what war is, and then your clans are all like for people out there, if you were playing at the time, you're basically starting a game that's about farming and attacking and building up your base. And then about a year into it, um, along comes war. And all of a sudden, you have clans who have been together for 6 months, 9 months, a year, however long it had been. And all of a sudden, you've got people who want to collaborate and war, and all of a sudden, and then some people are just like the farming aspect of it.
yep,
And it was, and like when you selected war, you didn't get to select the members. I think it was like the top, wasn't it, or something like however many. I can't. There's some
but
weird things with it, but then all of
it's
a
gone
sudden,
through so many changes.
yeah, and so like at that time, it was like everybody, and you heard Phantom talk about it, saying kick people out of the clan. Um, well, that's because war started, and all of a
But
sudden, people hadn't joined and figured out, the community. So it was a really big. I just remember it being a real big upheaval in Clash, like people leaving their old clans. It's people they worked with and stuff like that. Um, and so I remember going through all that with you guys back then,
yep,
for sure.
it was uh, it was the best of times, the worst.
It was the best times. It was the worst of times. So let me ask you, what are you listening to, reading, watching, et cetera, et
Um,
cetera?
well, just today I started a new book
Ooh,
called Hell Divers,
that
and it sounds kind of like Wally. They have to go, they have to like like
oh,
halo down to the earth from these ships and collect stuff because Earth is unusable. There's some sci-fi stuff.
that sounds like right up my alley. What's it called?
Yeah, Hell
Helldivers?
Divers.
I
Yep.
For some reason I've seen that title, I love
So
sci-fi, so I'm always reading it.
it was free if you were a member of Audibles for a while.
Oh,
That's
really?
when I got it. Yep. I
Oh,
just finally, I've had it for a long time, and I just finally cracked it open.
awesome. I picked that
Yeah,
book back
usually
up again. I'm reading
uh,
Recursion still.
Recursion from Blake. What's his?
Yeah. I got
I love that Dark Matter book he did. Like,
I'm gonna
what the
read
heck
that.
was his name?
Oh, every time. Crouchley
Blake something
Crouch
or something. Blake.
Crouch
Blake.
yeah, Blake Crouch,
Yeah. Okay.
something like that.
I like. Yeah, I love the Dark Matter book
Ooh,
that he did.
I really like the
Recursion.
pacing of this. I got really busy in the summer, and I usually read on a Kindle, and I switched to paperback, and because it's on a paperback, I don't always have it with me. So I kind of got out of the rhythm, but I picked it back up, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that one too. But the Dark Matter one is the one I read first of his, so that's like
Awesome. Oh,
I love that one. I think he did that Wayward Pines kind of. Uh, what the hell is that?
with
I can't think of it.
I know what
It's
you're.
called Wayward Pines, I think.
Yeah,
And so there, he's got like a series.
okay. Yep, I've seen that on Amazon.
Yep.
What are you watching?
So I tend to fall asleep when I watch stuff. I usually just watch crap that I've seen a million times, just so I don't care if I fall asleep during it.
Yeah.
But but me and the wife were watching Only Murders in the Building for
Oh,
a while now. Really
okay.
good. I really like.
I've got to watch that.
Um, I've been rewatching like Ink Master because I don't know, it's fun to me to
Oh,
watch
yeah.
people do crappy tattoos. It's entertaining.
Cool.
Uh, but I can't think of we watched a bunch of The Boys.
Oh, I got to watch that last
Um,
season yet.
I heard you guys talk about Walking Dead, but I haven't watched that since I don't know. Oh, like Rick was still around, so
Oh, man,
I don't
that's,
know how.
you got to,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I got to say, though, if you do catch up or you do want to catch up on Walking Dead, after that point, there was the pandemic, there was like the writer strike, and
yeah,
all these breaks that happen. So if you go back to watch, I don't think it's as much years have passed, right? But like
yeah.
they've spread it out. Um, it's always really good. Because I've been watching The Penguin. I don't know if you've watched that yet.
I put it in my watch list, but I haven't started watching it yet.
Yeah, another episode last night. Awesome show. I'm loving it. And I think it's gonna weave the universe really really well together. Together really well, I should say. But it's
Sure.
really made me wanna watch The Sopranos again, so I restarted that this week too, just to have on in the background, you know. It's just
I've
classic.
I've started The Sopranos, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, and can't. I never get too far into it, not because it's not good or anything,
Yeah.
just I'll work sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, especially after the first season. Oh, that show. Yeah, you just need kinda like a marathon or something like that to
I've seen him taking care of ducks a lot of times.
Okay, yeah,
Not not
yeah.
much after that.
That's always the problem, right? Like, you start something
Mhm.
and you go, "I gotta start it all over again," and then you
Yeah,
end
because
up
you can't remember
rewatch.
it.
Yeah, then it's
Yep,
like, I've seen the first season 8 times, but
yep.
yeah.
That's how it is with like Star Wars and stuff too. I've seen the beginning of every Star Wars movie like a million times, but the end only a couple times. Most of the
Yeah.
time, other than
Yeah,
the original trilogy, I've
remembering
seen
the ending?
those.
I've seen 100 times. Yeah, but remembering the ending one? Oh, no, I don't remember.
No
Yeah.
ending. No, do they have endings? I don't even know when.
What are you jamming out to?
Uh, like I said, all I do is listen to books. I don't. Uh,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
really listen to music. Very rarely,
Do you have a
if
war
that's what you
song?
mean.
What was your war song
No,
back in the day?
no,
Did you
I
ever have
don't.
one?
No, never.
Okay.
That would require too much planning and strategy,
Yeah.
to which I never I
I
never
will
got
have
down
none
with
of
that.
those, sir.
It's like I was
Strategy, planning,
completely
not this
against
mailman.
any extra work. There was a while
You've
there
all
where I
you've obviously confused me with a different postal employee.
right. That's yeah. There was a while where I wouldn't even join clans if in the description it said you needed Discord. I'd be like, nope,
Yeah,
they're too serious.
they're t they're too
I'm
organized
not
for me.
checking in and I'm not checking in and getting the tax approved. I'm not doing none of that.
Yeah, I want
Moving.
give me the chaos and anarchy. Anything goes. Wild West.
Yep, that was how I ended up when in Dark Contingent. They didn't have that. And I
Y
was like, okay, good.
Oh my god, I have a new clan name for you if you ever decide to
Have it.
make another one. The Penny Express.
All right, we'll get her done.
That'd be a good postal reference.
Pony Express.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be a good one. Well, shout outs.
great. Yeah, I have to remember people for that. You guys brought up most of the ones that I could remember. DP and Papa Smurf or Murtaugh, whatever he's going by these days. I don't think he's playing that account anymore either.
Oh, you know, that might be
Sasquatch.
the case too. I've sent some people that I've from the past just like invites, and I know you can turn some of those things off, just to like wave hi kind of thing. But I
Yeah,
suppose some people have given their accounts to other people uh, and whatnot at this point. Uh, it's really cool though. Like, people just pop in, say hello, our Discord is still active. So if you still got membership there,
I
um,
don't.
and all we do on Discord, like we're not really organizing much with Discord. It's more like a tool for like I can post something if needed. The game communication has been really cool because
Yeah,
like now I just will pin that message for like, hey, here's CWL sign up, and then I'm like thumbs up it, and then I get the list from there. Um, and I can say, hey, to confirm, and I know everybody's getting it there. Which has been really nice.
next time I see one of you guys on, I'll hop over there and take up some space in your clan. I don't know how much I'll do or
Oh
play,
yeah,
but
that'd
I
be
think I'm
cool.
over there to chat at least. Yeah,
Yeah, anytime. And if anybody out there, I suppose everybody's probably in the midst of CWL or whatnot. Um, please feel free to stop by. We're really kind of looking now for 4 15s, 14, 15s and up. This CWL we split into 3 teams. We did 16s and 15s in House of L, and I mostly it's all single person accounts as best as I could. And then we put other accounts and some first person accounts in. They went to Angry Wookiees and they're kicking butt over there. And then we did a mini war in L2 because the CWL league that they're in is really low. Um, so there's stuff all around for different town halls. But we're really the about 14, 15, 16 is where we're at in normal wars, I think.
sure.
So, um, but
Yeah,
we're probably going to do some stuff with L2 and things like that too. So, um, it just might mean you probably might not be able to war in House of L, but we got different places. So please feel free to stop by.
yeah, I will for sure.
Uh, and to everybody out there. I think the shout outs this week I'm going to give to the co-leaders in House of L. Tip isn't here this week, or he wasn't here last week. He's in a busy time. I've been in a busy time, and so we're going to do episodes every couple weeks together. And in the meantime, I'm going to bring you interviews and what I used to call nerding outs. But I'm just going to put them into the OG lineup for numbering sake, insanity sake for on my end. So, uh, and so Tip has been doing stuff in with CWL. So Papa Chewy and Good Cop Bad Cop they've all been leading one of the clans, Papa Chewy, and everything's been going really smooth. So thank you all for doing that. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all the listeners out there. It's fun to do these episodes, and I'm glad that you're enjoying them. And you can get a hold of us at clashclanspodcast@gmail.com or clashclanspodcast.com. You can always find us and stop by House of L in game and find information on the clan tag and everything online. So, any last thoughts, Mailman? God, that was like a long, winding.
You got nothing, brother.
All right. Well, we'll catch up again soon.
Absolutely, and I'll see you in the game.
All right. Keep it clashy.
Alrighty, buddy. See you later.
Skilly beep 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 skilly beep.